As we zoom into the countries of Israel and Palestine, we find a deeply rooted conflict among the Israelis and Palestinians in the Israeli-Palestinian War. This war began due to religious conflicts in which the Jews and the Muslims claimed they each had the right to settle in Israel, specifically the city of Jerusalem, to which both religions had and still have ties. In Jewish history, Jerusalem was the religious center where King Solomon built the first temple, which, although destroyed, was later rebuilt as the second temple, with the Western Wall remaining today. In Islamic history, Jerusalem was the third most important religious city where the Prophet Muhammad is said to have risen. It also holds many important mosques, such as the Dome of the Rock. Although there have been countless attempts at diplomatic resolutions to the Israeli-Palestinian War, the foreign influence of sophomoric Western countries in the United Nations, specifically the United States, has led to the continuation of this war. In 1947, the UN met to decide what actions to take to resolve this war. They voted to recommend the partition of Palestine into an Arab state and a Jewish state. Here, the orange land is the Jewish state and the yellow is the Arab state. Unfortunately, the partition said that Jerusalem would be a corpus separatum governed by the UN. This only furthered conflict over Jerusalem. In response to the UN's, quote, active relinquishing of responsibility in a critical hour, end quote, Arab guerrillas placed Jerusalem under siege in 1947. The conflict created by the partition of Palestine and the siege of Jerusalem led to the War of 1948, also called the War of Independence. During this war, there was an average of 100 deaths and 200 casualties per week, causing great pain in both Israel and Palestine.
ואני חושבת שאנשים שגרים בדרום לא מגיע להם לחיות בפחד, ואנשים בכללי בארץ לא מגיע להם לחיות בפחד לעלות על אוטובוס ולהתפוצץ, כי זה פשוט ככה לא חיים, זה לא דרך נורמלית לחיות, בעיקר כשהאדמה מתחתיהם רועדת וכל הזמן זזה ואין פתרון.
On May 14, 1948, Israel gained its independence with borders 5,000 square kilometers beyond the boundaries in the UN partition. In this clip, David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, declares Israel's independence at the Tel Aviv Museum.
מתוקף זכותנו הטבעית וההיסטורית ועל יסוד החלטת עצרת האומות המאוחדות אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינת ישראל.
This picture shows the change of Palestinian land in green from 1946, 1947, 1949 to 63, and 2000. In 2000, U.S. President Bill Clinton held a meeting between President of the Palestinian National Authority Yasser Arafat and Prime Minister of Israel Ehud Barak at Camp David. Although this meeting brought some resolutions, it ended with the still undecided conflict of who would control Jerusalem. This conflict once again brought war to Israel and Palestine in the Second Intifada. This war caused over 12,000 deaths, a great majority being the Palestinian citizens. During this time, there was extreme pain and upset for both countries, as well as their friends and families all over the world.
החיים בישראל הם מסובכים מכל מיני אספקטים, אבל בעיקר, קודם כל, כולם קשורים לכולם בגלל שזו מדינה כל כך קטנה, וכל פעם שחייל נהרג או אזרח נהרג, זה משפיע על כל אזרח.
If we see this conflict only from one side or the other, then we will be blind to the truth. The only resolution is for the aspirations of both sides to be met through two states where Israelis and Palestinians each live in peace and security. That is in Israel's interest, Palestine's interest, America's interest, and the world's interest. And that is why I intend to personally pursue this outcome with all the patience and dedication that the task requires.
אני לא חושבת שיש איזושהי מדינה בעולם חוץ מארצות הברית שמנסה לתמוך בישראל. ואם זה ככה יישאר, אז כמו שאמרתי לפני, זה לא יהיה פתרון, והמצב הזה יימשך עוד הרבה שנים.